Hi, my name is Geok. I've been asked by Mark to share my story about my journey of my cancer. Last year, around about August, I was diagnosed with 4th stage ovarian cancer, and as usual, I was asked to do the normal hysterectomy, and after I did the operation, the oncologist put me on a 6-cycle chemo treatment, starting sometime in September and finished in January. And during this time, I heard all sorts of stories, as usual, about chemo treatment and the horrors and the side effect. And I was a bit apprehensive during the whole treatment itself, and I was very afraid. The fear of contracting infections was very real. And I remembered during my first few cycles, I felt very tired, and the normal nausea symptoms were there. And I would go around in mask, and I would try to stay away from people, and I stopped work completely because of this fear of contracting infections because of contact with people. And I was very lucky that during my 6-cycle treatment, nothing untoward happened, and I completed the treatment, and the cancer tumor marker returned to normal. But unfortunately, 4 months later, I think around about sometime in May or June, the cancer returned, and my oncologist advised me to go through a second round of chemo treatment. And this time, my very good friend, LimGeokHeng, who used to be my student, she's from Penang, and she actually told me about Kiseki when I was doing my first chemo treatment. But because the chemo was doing its job, we just left it at that. But when she heard that my cancer had returned, she advised me to perhaps try this drink called Kiseki, which she said had a history, had a very good history of helping people with cancer, and she was very kind. She arranged for a meeting with Mark and Tiffany, and bless their soul, they came down to KL, and 2 weeks before I was due to start my chemo, I started the Kiseki Royale. And as usual, when I went for my second treatment, I found that the chemo treatment was a stronger dose because it was a relapse. But I found that I wasn't feeling so much of the nausea and so much of the fatigue. In fact, I felt very good, and I would think that the difference between the first and the second was that during my second treatment, I was on Kiseki, and because I was feeling so good, in fact, on the second day itself, after the chemo, I would go to the park and I would do my normal walk and all that, and I didn't have a fear of contracting infection because I was feeling good. And then for the first time, I just went out without my mask for 2 or 3 days. In fact, in the first treatment, for the first 4 or 5 days, I wouldn't go out. I would stay in the house, and stay away from people. But during this second treatment, because I was feeling so good, I just, well, you can call it being reckless. I just went out and did whatever I wanted to do, because I didn't feel so tired. And in fact, I think it was during the second cycle or the third cycle, my nutritionist actually advised me to stop taking supplements 2 or 3 days before my chemo and 2 or 3 days after. And I listened to him. So it was like I stopped the Kiseki for about 5 days, and I found that the effect was quite bad. I went back to being very tired, and the nausea was quite bad. So when I met Mark, I told him about it, and he says that I should not have stopped. And he says for my next chemo cycle, I should just continue. And I took his advice. And again, I felt very good. So I continued to take the Kiseki regardless of whether I was doing chemo or not. So I think that the Kiseki gave me a lot of confidence, because I felt that my body was really well, in good shape. I felt very good. Everybody tells me I look good, despite the fact that it was my second treatment already at chemo. The nurses and the doctor tells me, well, I don't look like a chemo patient at all, because I was feeling so good. I was able to eat properly. Unlike the first round, I had a lot of problems with food. When I looked at food, the nausea would cause me to not throw up, just didn't have the appetite. But this time, even though there was nausea, I was taking the nausea pills, but I had the urge to eat, so it kept me fit. I was strong, and I felt that because the body felt very good, the mind felt very strong as well. And because I was feeling so good, I decided to go back to work. No fear anymore, no fear about infections and staying away from people. And I attribute this generally to the fact that I just felt good, both in body and in mind. And the chemo treatment completed, again without any any untoward incidents, and the cancer tumor marker has come back down to normal. And I felt that taking the Kiseki just gave me a lot of confidence, because it made me feel very good. I mean, I can't for sure attribute the tumor marker dropping just alone to Kiseki, because I was under chemo treatment. But I would think that by taking the Kiseki, because it made me feel very good, I think that is the main step towards handling and fighting this battle. Because I think most of the time cancer patients succumb to the disease because of the side effects. I've seen many of these cancer patients in the chemo room, and they actually they don't look healthy. And one of the reasons is because they tell me, they're afraid of eating this food and afraid of eating that food, and they don't take the supplements because they're afraid that it would interfere with the chemo. And these are all told to them, not by the doctors, by the way, not by the oncologists, but by well-meaning friends, and that puts the fear in the patient. And because of that, they become very weak. And I think that's why the immunity suffers, because the body is not strong. But in my case, I don't do that. I eat sensibly, but because of the Kiseki, and because I was feeling good, I think the appetite and your lifestyle would tend to follow because you feel good. And so far, it's been doing its work. I still feel good. I don't let it interfere. I don't let my cancer interfere with my way of life. I just continue to do it, and that is because mentally and physically, I don't feel sick at all. You see, I don't feel sick at all. The Kiseki has. I don't know how it works because I'm not a technical person, you know. But I feel that because when I take it, it causes me to go to the toilet at least 2 or 3 times a day, and I feel that it, in a way, psychologically, I'm telling myself that it's detoxing the body, and I feel very clean, and the body feels very clean as well. And I'm not sure, but my friend tells me I look even better before I was sick. So I guess it's doing its job. And I don't know how, I don't know what will happen in the future. But as of now, I'm carrying on with life, and I feel really good. And I don't let the cancer run my life, and I attribute that to the fact that I feel good. So I would like to thank my friend Su Cheng for recommending me to Mark and Tiffany, and I believe Pak Su is also involved in this in this wonderful product, and I feel blessed that I was given a chance to experience this product, and the fact that it brought me a lot of wellness, and it gave me a lot of confidence to handle my journey. So thank you very much, and I hope it will inspire other people to perhaps give it a try. There's nothing to lose. Thank you. Bye.